At the beginning of the film, Kate has decided she doesn't really want to do this kind of work anymore. There's something that's happened where she had a job and there was a kid nearby who witnessed it, and that's something that she sort of can't get out of her brain. And she's realized that it's really not something she can do or wants to do anymore. And she's reached the point in her life where she feels like it's her last chance to get out and actually still have a life and still be able to do what she wants to do, even though she has no idea what that is. So she's made that decision. She's going to go on her very last hit, do her very last job. And just as she's in the midst of doing that, she gets poisoned. And so all these dreams of having a normal life, of getting out and finding something new, are sort of robbed from her in that moment. So that really brings out instantly a lot of rage, a lot of just sort of like, just anger about this life that she didn't get the chance to have.
So Kate is a woman who has spent her entire life as an operative for a very clandestine and powerful firm that we name The Ring, where she goes all over the world and pulls off these assassinations. And our movie is a story about an assassination that goes wrong, and she's poisoned and has about 24 hours left to live in her whole life. And of course, she's so driven, she pushes forward to try to pull off this hit, and along the way, she meets a young Japanese girl who very much wants to emulate her. So it becomes this very complicated story about legacy and what is the final act. It becomes a really complicated story about legacy and what's our final act and what's the right way to leave a mark. For Kate, it's all about doing right by this young girl, Annie, as a way to try to right some of her lifetime of wrongs.
We've put her through the ringer. I mean, we were going through that like recently and enumerating all the stuff that she's done. Like, she's been pushed, she's been pulled, she's been beaten, dragged, run, tossed, upside down, cut her hair. I mean, like you name it. She's been through everything. It's been quite amazing, actually. And so the thing is, what's really funny is like, for an actor and an actress to go through all that, like day after day after day after day. We're shooting all night. The entire movie is shooting at night. We were in Bangkok during monsoon season. We're in Japan now during winter. We went through like 100 degree heat, 100% of humidity, and now we are like what's the temperature outside? Look, I'm wearing a puffer jacket, so which is freezing cold. She's in a t-shirt, and she's been amazing, going to all that, not one complaint.
I think when I read the script, it was one of those parts that you read and you go, oh, I can't not play this part. It feels like it's going to be so challenging and so hard and so hardcore and beyond anything I've ever had the opportunity to do in terms of how far it's going to push me physically and emotionally, and like such a range. So for me, it was scary in that way, which made it really exciting.
Mary, first of all, she's the first cast member that I met, and she's so great. She gets into her character completely, and she has to do a lot of action scenes, and it's, when you're watching her, sometimes if I'm not working, I'll like look at the monitors behind set and just watch her, and she's so good at the fight scene. She brings this like aura. It's insane, yeah. And Woody, I've watched him like growing up, so it's crazy to work with him. He's amazing.
We have an abundance of riches with the cast on this film. It's spectacular casting. We obviously have Mary Elizabeth Winstead as our Kate, and she is such a unicorn in that she has such depth and ability to bring so much emotion and vulnerability and real feeling to some very dramatic scenes. As Varric, which is one of those roles that was so important to bringing life and fun and this kind of real, and anchoring the story in a really moving relationship. We have Woody Harrelson, who my favorite actor ever since I can remember. I think I absolutely love him in everything he does, and to have him, and we've actually worked together on the Hunger Games, and I knew how much he brings to every production that he comes on to. He's so focused and really energetic, and really brings a lot of heart to every role that he does.
I really love the relationship between Kate and Ani. It starts out sort of begrudgingly, you know. Kate basically initially kidnaps Ani because she's trying to get to her grandfather. And over the course of the film, this sort of bond grows between them, and Ani needs her to protect her. And Kate kind of begrudgingly steps up to that role, even though it's not at all what she planned to do in the last 24 hours of her life, was to take on this kind of annoying kid. but they really grow on each other, and it was a really lovely part of the film for me.
Well, I think I wanted to look at a version of Tokyo that is maybe not as postcard as some people will like. You know, Tokyo is a very strange city. There is everything in Tokyo, very modern, very traditional, you know, very bright and very dark, and as I say earlier. So I think I wanted to be like kind of more like an everyday Tokyo. So in the film there is Lawson, which is like, you know, like those kind of little country mart that are all over Tokyo, that are the rhythm of the life over there. Like small things like that, they're a reference to like beverage. And so instead of doing the whole like samurai kind of sakura and this and that, it's more postcard, I was looking at kind of a more kind of normal Tokyo, kind of, you know, everyday kind of thing.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job, because everything I see on set, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like how it is in Japan. And it's, yeah, even though we're not in Japan right now, it's very familiar. Yeah, everything.
Come for the action, come for the lights, for the style and everything, and stay for the friendship between Kate and Ani, stay for those things. And in this instance, I think those are themes that everybody can kind of get around, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I love an action, yeah, I love an explosion, that's great entertainment, but then also the heart of the film, you know, and the relationship between Kate and Ani, and that's what kind of makes me stay all the way to the end. You know, that's why I love genre film, because I think they have this power to draw the audience in with, like, you know, fireworks. But then when you're in, kind of trying to give them a little bit more than those fireworks, trying to a little bit more a heart or a smile or something that is like a physiological response, if you will. You know, a scare or laughter or like, oh, you know, and that's what they take out when they leave the theater, or when they finish to watch it on the platform. They leave with those feelings, those laughter, those cringe moment of violence, or those like entertainment thing. That's what they live with.
Hi there, here's today's Daily Fact. Did you know that the deadliest actors with the all-time most kills in movies are Milla Jovovich, around 1,300, and Jet Li, over 1,000, with Schwarzenegger, Stallone and Statham way down the list with a count of a mere 700-800. Remember to click below to subscribe, or on the side for more great content.